from Baller Mom, and welcome to the Baller Mom feature for today. I have another guest from Vaughan City Youth Basketball, Coach Fred, who will be joining us shortly. I hope everybody is having a pretty good week so far, especially here in Toronto with the weather being so nice. Sunny. It feels like summer is almost here. It's just only if we can get out of this lockdown and be able to go outside and enjoy. But if you're able to see this, means that you're well. I'm hoping you're well, you're alive, you're healthy. And the conversation we're going to have today is going to be very special. It's going to be unique in the sense that it touches on different aspects of being a sports club or sports family. And for any parents or anyone out there looking for a new club, especially the females, this is one of the clubs doing amazing thing in the community. And you will hear from the coach who will be able to join, like he's going to join us and he's going to share the so many different things that they are doing to make sure that exactly what they do within the community. So when we're out of this lockdown and you're really looking for somewhere to have your child play, that's one of the options that you can think of. Thank you for everyone that's joining in. Okay, so you are here. Hi, Minu. Hi, Mama, to interview. So I'm just waiting for Coach Fred to join me, and you just have to accept request, Fred, and then once you join, we can begin the chat. In the meantime, everyone that's joining, please feel free to put any comments, any questions that you may have. I know I posted it with some of the things that we're going to talk about, but if you yourself have any questions related to what Vaughan City Youth is all about, what Baller Mom is all about, by all means, put it in there, and we will be able to, I'll be able to try and help you out. Hi, Minu, miss you. Hope you're good. We can talk after. Yes, so I think he may be having a little bit issue trying to connect, but that's okay. I will try again. So I'm going to send you the request, and all you have to do is accept the request. And anybody else is joining? Let me see. Anyone, yes. But hopefully everybody is doing good. Honestly, I can't complain in the sense that we're still here and healthy. And we're in day 5001 of the lockdown here in Ontario. Then again, who's counting, right? I'm not. I try not to. School's almost done for most of the kids are doing online, and hopefully we have the opportunity to go and do something outside more as a team. So Fred, if you're having any issue, please let me know. I sent you the request and you just have to accept. And once you accept, I will be able to see. You have to turn your camera on too and accept it, so then we can have the discussion. And while we wait for everybody else to come, there we go. Vaughan City is able to join. So let me just request back to you again. There's always a little bit of technical difficulty sometimes for a first time doing it, but that's okay. We can go ahead and we can do so. Okay, we have PK46 joining. Hi, thank you for joining. Hope you're all having a good day or evening or morning or night, wherever you may be. Let me see who else. Okay, so while we're at it, does anybody have any questions you want me to ask Vaughan City Youth Basketball? Anything specifically, especially if you have a female athlete in your home and you're looking for, something for them to do once, we're post-COVID. Is there anything that you want to know specifically where they're located, where they practice? I'll ask these questions, but feel free to put your questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to make sure that they get it and we can discuss it out. There you are. There.
How are you?
I'm good. How's
Sorry.
everything? That's okay.
Good. Sorry about the delay. I think I had too many things going on my my phone.
Okay.
Too many screens going.
Things popping up all the time. I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question has come to you. Do you think you will be running any summer camp? So that's one of the questions. So I'll pause for that. but we will
Yeah.
get to that. But how was your day so far? Now this beautiful Thursday here.
Oh, it's been great. It's so nice to have sun out, and it just gives us some hope that we're gonna get through all this stuff, man.
Yes, yes,
It just feels good. It feels
yeah,
good for sure,
yeah,
for sure. And just to hear like kids playing outside,
yeah.
is
Yeah.
it's a good feeling.
Glued to the screen all the time. It's
Yes, yeah.
hopefully we can go and make it a team effort too by going outside together and not just family only. But as like based on how the numbers are progressing, hopefully we can get back into team sports, team events or
Yeah,
family.
I think I'm optimistic. I think that I feel like as the numbers are coming down, I hope that they open more things up, and I really think the kids should be able to be outside.
Me
I
too.
think it's safe
Yeah,
to do
I
that.
agree.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
hopefully they give us the okay, and we can actually have practices outside, and just we not even practices, just hang out,
Yeah,
outside and be
yeah.
together and just chit chat, right?
Just yeah,
So
just in person, exactly. Even if it's 6 feet apart, still,
yeah,
see. I agree. Well, I
yeah,
wanted to you into the Ballerman feature. Thank you for wanting to be on here. What
yeah.
I do here is try to help shed light to different organizations or individuals that are doing things within our community that helps us parents, especially when we are looking for different things or in need of support of something, whether it be a coach or be a trainer, whether it be a club or anything specific community based. And Vaughan City Youth Basketball is one that's definitely also doing so many different things, especially within your city. And I wanted to make sure that we shed light into that because you do have one unique thing that also makes you stand out. And with the way, especially we'll get into it, how the WNBA and everything is going on, your club is definitely setting the underground work for a lot of very talented females that's going to represent Canada in the near future. So with that being said, without me saying so much, would you like to introduce yourself? Who's Coach Fred? You're
Who's
located, and anything that you would like to, introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, so thanks for first of all, thank you for doing this because like during COVID, we've all felt like we've been working on an island, right? And the fact that you're connecting all these teams and all these different trainers together
Thank you.
and moms and dads together, I think is very commendable because this is something we all needed during this time, right? Is to have some sort of connection and to
True.
have some sort of a place where we could sort of get some good resources as well. So you've been really, really instrumental in that. So thank you for that. We really do.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank
that.
you.
Coach Fred. Coach Fred is just a dad of three. I think I've been in basketball pretty much all my life. I started playing basketball as a kid. My dad actually used to play high level basketball in South America.
Okay.
And then when he came to Canada, of course, he had to work, so he couldn't play.
Yep.
But he always encouraged us to play as kids.
Mhm.
And then I went through the elementary school system. I grew up in Don Mills and Eglinton area. Went through the elementary school system there. Had some really good coaches as a kid.
Mhm.
And then I did high school, and I actually went to North Toronto Collegiate High School, which was in the city. Again, wonderful coaches. And I really learned how to not only play, but also coach and mentor because I saw some excellent leaders there. And then, I took a pause from basketball, to be perfectly honest. I had to grow up and go to school and work.
Yeah.
And I really took it up again once I had my son. And he decided, actually, I bought a net. I actually didn't force it on, but I did buy a net
Mhm.
and just
Just
placed
not,
it in. Yeah, just snuck it in,
yeah.
placed it on the driveway, and then we just started shooting around one day, and I think it was like 5 or 6,
Wow.
and then and then he just sort of said, you know what, I want to play rep ball, and I was like, okay, let's
Mhm.
try it. And I'll never forget this, Gifty, because this is the beauty of, we have our roots at Woodbridge Lions, and they're a great organization. They were having a practice. We went to the community center there, and I'll never forget Coach Ainsley was there, and I sort of approached them and I asked them when they were going to be finished so we could sneak in and shoot around. And he says, we're going to be finished in about a couple of hours. And so my son was kind of disappointed. I was kind of disappointed, but he said, you know what? Your son can practice with us, no problem.
Wow.
And yeah, which was amazing, right? So my son practiced with these kids and did really well. And Coach Ainsley said, you know what? He should try out for the rep team, right? So, and and then it was just an amazing journey right after that. So I always have a great place in my heart for Woodbridge Lions and Coach Ainsley for opening the doors. And yeah, and then of course we met Coach Mo from Coach Maurice Jefferson, another amazing mentor, and I helped them coach. Actually, I'm a pretty good shooting coach, and so I helped them coach, and we won a championship that year, which was amazing for the boys. And so during that time, Gifty, here's what I'm getting at.
That's okay. It's your time.
Yeah, thank you. We noticed that there were a bunch of little girls hanging out during the games, right? The siblings of these players. And, they were, first they were doing cartwheels in the middle of the, at halftime and doing, silly things. And then then they started sort of taking shots. And then towards the end of the season, I kind of got cornered. And they said, Coach Fred, we would like to start a rep team for girls, and we want you to be a coach. And so I was like, Gifty, I didn't know what to say, right? Because I had never coached girls before. And I thought, okay, well, let's think about it first. Let's see if we have some interest. And then this just the first U10 basketball team for Woodbridge was formed. Proud to say, in 2018, and our tryouts, we had 6 or 7 girls turn out, and they all made the team, which is exciting. And then we spent 2 great years with Woodbridge. Again, great organization. But my partner and I kind of said, you know what, there's a real opportunity to create a specific program for girls, or a program where girls are primarily highlighted and catered to. Yeah. And so we took the big leap. Again, after we had some really good success with Woodbridge, the last girls team that we had actually got silver, won silver in provincials. Again, we're talking about girls that couldn't even hit the rim at the beginning of the 2 years, and to the point where we were battling for a championship, OBA championship, and they won a silver medal, right? So that's why we took the opportunity to create this, and it's been rewarding. It's been super fun, and yeah, and.
Story though, because you saw the opportunity. You didn't just go and watch only your son play. You sort of did a peripheral view, and most of the parents that come there, for those that have more than one children, depending on how the schedule is, when you're there, the other sibling is there too. And you're right. You have to entertain them. So that's how you realize, wait, are they picking up the ball? Are they throwing the ball? Where's the interest? So that's a coaching mentality, a coaching mindset that you have right here. You saw that opportunity, and you realize, you know what? We got to provide the support for them. And Louisa said, TV and all the coaches, they are amazing. Yes. So kudos to you.
Thanks, Lisa. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that though, so with the VCB, when you started it, like what was the hiccups that you found? Because you started with the 6 girls from the previous team, and in here, and most often when you do look at other clubs, it's powered mainly by males, by boys. So
Yes.
art sell to the parents or to even the community in terms of competitiveness, right? Because the competitions that are coming are always boys, 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 very few with the girls. So how did that work out? What was some of the things that you had to go through to say, what, we're here to stay, and the girls are just as important, and we need more competition or more, events to make sure that we're catering to the females.
Yeah, and so at the beginning, what we did was we made a promise to ourselves is that this program would be primarily for girls, and any decisions that we would make would be for the benefit of female athletes. Yes, we do have a couple of boys teams now, which is great, and I love that. But I love Gifty. My favorite conversations are when the boys team asks for more gym time, and we say, you know what? We can't because we've got so many girls teams. That's my favorite conversation,
Wow.
right? And because traditionally it's been the reverse, right?
Yeah.
It's been the reverse where the boys have had the lion's share of the gym time and
Mhm.
girls have been sort of put towards the back burner. So we made that commitment with Sandeep, my coaching partner and my partner for VCB, and we're sticking to that. But we also said, Gifty, we don't know everything. We are not experts in everything. So we've
Mhm.
decided to align ourselves with the right people to deliver things like training, deliver things like coaching. We have amazing, amazing, really great coaches that we've been lucky to have. And
Right.
they share the same philosophy. Our philosophy, if you were to sort of put it in a nutshell, is we want them first of all to fall in love with the game.
Mhm.
Secondly, we want them to develop and learn. We want them to be competitive. But at the same time, we realize that yes, they're going to be great athletes, but they're also the likelihood of them being coaches and
Mhm.
mentors and teachers is very high. So we want to make sure that we're modeling that positive energy as well. So, like your previous guest at Top Tier, he had that same mentality, right? So you will never find coaches belittling our players or yelling at them on the sidelines, right? On the contrary, we're actually very calm on the sidelines,
Okay.
and our work is in practice. And when they're on stage, we will never embarrass them in front of other people.
I
And
think Oliver Levy, I hear to that at some point when I had him featured, and I think his daughter is on your team as well too.
yes,
He
yes,
mentioned about the coaching technique that your organization does, and I think it's nice. It's nice. I guess
yeah,
if I was ever to come and watch your game, you probably only hear me scream because that's all I do, anyways.
that's great. You're a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a fan. That's great. No, absolutely. But you know what? And Oliver Levy is an example of a wonderful coach that we've got. And actually, I have a special place for Oliver because when we started this a few years ago, he was one of those coaches that was really on board to say, yes, Fred, this is the right way to approach this type of coaching and mentoring. The other thing that's helped us out, Gifty, is we've been really successful. So it's great to have these ideas,
Yeah.
but if you haven't seen any success or growth within your teams, then it's kind of like, okay, well, is it just hocus pocus or does it really
Yeah.
work? And it's really worked.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah,
difference between the training and developing, and I guess like you're saying that because you can see the difference in the growth year over year, that's where your success comes in, correct?
that's right. That's right. So we know the system is working. And the
Yeah.
other thing too, as coaches, is we're open to feedback, right? We know, like I said, we know we don't know everything, but if we need to find out, we'll find out. We've created a really good ecosystem too of coaches. So, coaches like Coach Sharma from the Humber Hawks is one of our mentors. Coach Samuel from RWI is another mentor,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
I,
so we draw on Coach Steven as well, right? So we
yes.
draw on everybody to sort of, when they say it takes a village, it takes a village, right?
Mm.
And it's great because it's to the benefit of the team. The other great mentor that we really love, and she really connects with our girls, our head trainer, Natasha Busoli. She runs an organization called Lead Through Sports, and
Yes.
that's where we get not only the technical side of basketball, but also the leadership side of basketball. And so she's there as our sort of reference point to say, this is how you teach leadership as well, especially with girls.
Yeah.
And this is how you teach them to be confident as well.
Wow.
And so she's fabulous. She's been amazing. So it's been a great partnership with her too.
Awesome. I've had a couple of chats with her, and
Yeah.
and I think Sport is also doing great work as well. I may have to feature her too, just to get her story as
You
well.
should. You should. She's kind of shy, but I say, you know what? You got to tell everybody what you're doing.
So it takes a while, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
enough as we talk that it's a natural conversation, and you're not interview for a job or anything, so don't worry about it. You're right.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, no, it's been great. And I view all of our coaches as really treasures within the community, right? I even have a coach that's a teacher, a special ed teacher. He saw us, Coach Rich saw us actually practicing outside because we would practice outside prior to actually last spring. And he said he heard the balls bouncing, and he grabbed his little girl and he ran to the court, and he's been hooked since. So yeah, it's working. And then
growing in a way that each person that's becoming part of your little family or community, each brings your own uniqueness, and it's still supporting back to the athletes and the family, correct?
Yeah, and even down to this sign. This sign was created by a parent. This logo was created by that VC logo.
Yeah, I love
we commissioned, yeah, and we commissioned one of our players' parents. He's a graphic designer, and he made it. So what we're trying to create is we want everybody to have a piece of something of themselves within this network, with this within this movement, right? And we always say it's not just about basketball. Because if it was just about basketball, it would be really boring, right?
Yeah.
Really dry.
Yeah.
We want to do other things. So that's where we're at.
For sure. You did earlier that you do have a way of building that comfortability or confidence in the females and the athletes. So what are some of the ways that you have been able to keep them active? Because right now, like I was saying earlier, we can't physically get together. But what else have your organization or you yourself are doing with your team to still keep them together and still keep them going, so that the fundamental things that you already is part of who you are is still continuing, even if we physically can't see each other?
Yeah, so it's been quite a journey this year, right? Because we've had so many startups and then lockdowns and startups again and lockdowns, right? So, but all through that, we've been really committed to getting the girls in the gym. So we've got really good partnerships. Again, blessed with partnerships with Game 6, one of our facilities that we work out of. There's another private school that's opened their doors to us, that's been able to say, you know what? You can come practice with us. Obviously, we do it all within the government guidelines. We keep it within that. But we haven't really missed a beat. Now, when we've had lockdowns, Natasha has been leading us through Zoom practices, which has been great. And also, we've actually deployed her to do driveway training as well for a lot of these girls.
You're dedicated,
which is,
I like that, because you're still keeping it together. You're still making them feel part of it, so that once we're back to where we need to be, it didn't miss a beat. There was no beat in there, because I'm still part of the team. I'm still cared for. I'm still trained. I'm still getting better. Yeah, I like that.
The other aspect, so that's the athletic part, I would say, which builds confidence because as your skills develop and your shooting gets better, you've got some confidence, right? And keeps the team together. The other piece of that is the charity, right? We are very, as a VCB, as part of the VCB community, we are very conscious to say all of our teams have to have a charitable component to them. So how do we give back to the community? Now this year with COVID, we haven't had we've sort of decided to stay with a couple of charities. So we did a fundraiser actually for our tryout last September. We didn't ask them to pay 20 bucks or 30 bucks for trying out. I actually don't believe in that. What we did was we said, bring in a canned food as your admission. And what we did was we collected pounds of food and we dropped those off to the food bank, the Vaughan Food Bank. Yeah, yeah.
I know you also did something about the autism aspect of it, support giving back.
Yeah, so again, along the lines of being a piece of the puzzle, the VCB puzzle, which is actually a good acronym. We reached out to a couple of parents, and they said they wanted to do a fundraiser for Waves of Autism, because a couple of our players, the kids, actually use the service of Waves of Autism here in Vaughan. They do great work. And we partnered up with ColorX, Benjamin Moore here in town. They're amazing supporters of what we do, and they actually provided the funds for the T-shirts, and we sold those T-shirts, and we raised over $1,000 for Waves of Autism.
Oh,
yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah, because it's not just about only being an athlete, but you're also teaching them about giving back to the community and being part of the community. And it's great. It's bigger than themselves, right? And I think parents involved is also a great thing.
Yeah, and we're part of the community. We use these services, and why not support these services, right? And we're teaching these girls that you've got to give back. We are very privileged here in Vaughan. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So we've got to give back, and so that's been really rewarding. And to that, we've noticed that one of our players has decided to create bracelets and raise money for Kids Health Phone. So that to me was full circle. We started with that, and now we're having one of our team players start raising money for another cause. So that's rewarding for us for sure.
I say keep doing it. It's a great thing because it's different than just say we're just going to go for our practice and have a game, but knowing that you're also being part of it and giving back and learning and getting to know others within your community or even outside your community, it's amazing. I think you also did the technology drive at some point as well too. I mean, your organization, like, you're pretty good at sharing everything that you do in an open way that it's not just about you. And that part, I believe, is very commendable, and especially as a parent on the side. I mean, I don't have girls, but as a parent on the outside in, this is something like make sure that you are associated with a club or a league or an organization that is, it's not just about the dollars, but they actually invested in the development of your child as a student, as an athlete, and as a community member. And I you continue to do, and hopefully those who are watching, on the bends are not sure what else to do with your own club. These are some great things that you can do, right? So
yeah,
it's not about just bouncing the ball.
Yeah, and I encourage anybody to reach out because we've done amazing stuff within the year, but we've also learned a lot of stuff. Coach Sandeep and I, right? And we've made some mistakes, so it's a learning process, right?
Someone's giving you stars. Arlie Tao.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's Coach Rich. That's Coach Rich. He's the one that heard the sounds of the bouncing balls and grabbed his kids and ran over. Yeah. So
I'm like, who's there? What is it? What's the score? What's cheer? Who's glad? That's me. Okay.
Yeah.
what? I think once he came and joined, he knows that he's within good company. So I would say continue doing that. I appreciate that. And again, if you have anything that you want me to also share with the wider community, by all means, continue to do so.
Yeah.
Because the more we know, the more we can, support each other for sure.
Yeah, we feel like, after our first year of VCB, with like the sky's the limit. There's a need for this in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, Gifty, is I am so I hate it when people just um, when people just say, you know what, my daughter or my son just need to do one sport, stick to one sport. We love our athletes to do multiple sports. My
Okay.
favorite conversations are with parents and juggling schedules. Those are my favorite conversations.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to be greedy and say, no, they got to just do basketball. But
Mm-hmm.
studies show if they do multiple sports, they get injured less, right? And they develop actually faster in terms of their skills,
They
right?
learn
Yeah,
the dealing with teamwork, conflict, win, learn, whatever. Yeah.
for
And
sure. And if you're playing soccer and all this, sorry, what were you saying?
I get to know the scene more. And the
Yeah. I think we should get to
all over.
Yeah, I think we should get to a point where, as coaches, we can actually talk to each other, and I can go to Chloe's soccer coach and say, Chloe, Rob, what are you guys working on for defense in
Mm-hmm.
soccer? Oh, you're working on moving laterally or side to side. Okay, that's what we're actually doing the same thing. Here's what I noticed with Chloe, right?
Okay.
And it just makes a better athlete, and it just makes a better just individual all around, right?
Because
It
the same mindset for developing that one athlete together, regardless of what type of sport they're doing. I like that. I've never actually come across, that mindset before. I like that.
Yeah, because we're so selfish, and like we want to keep these players, right? We want to
Yeah.
we want to make sure they just do basketball, but at the end of the day, the best athletes have
Mm-hmm.
actually played multiple sports,
Yes.
right? So
It's
so
part of,
and I think we as parents, we start really early, and
yeah.
sometimes we just put our kids in a bit of a box to say, well, you're a great basketball player, just stick to basketball, and I'm going to
Okay.
buy you the best shoes, the best this, the best coach, the best that. But what happens is that child, that player, hasn't discovered something else that they
Exactly.
might actually be even better at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we encourage multiple athletes as well, and we work with their schedules as well. And we've got some rep soccer players that will play a soccer game, and then they'll have their basketball shorts underneath, and they'll go to the basketball court and play a tournament.
That's it. Yep. Yep.
Right, right.
Just
And
in time so you don't miss the cutoff and then boom, just go. Yeah.
yeah, and we've had some players that unfortunately couldn't make a game during the tournament, which we
Mm-hmm.
totally understand, right? But they've made an effort to be at the championship game, right? So that juggling piece is so important, and you as a coach need to be flexible. It makes me a better coach, because if I've got to be creative with my lineup, then
Mm-hmm.
I am being a better coach, right? And those players also get an opportunity to be more creative as well, right?
Yep.
So,
You give that
yeah,
opportunity to players at different times, so it's not always the same starting lineup. They depend on what the weekend is. It might be, section A, B, or group A, group B, however you categorize it, that everybody gets a chance. But at the end, it's still a team effort, whether, Chloe's here today or not. You can still take that spot and still, I guess, make the team, great as it needs to be, because you have that understanding and that open communication with the coaches and the parents. I think that's such, I never even realized that, recognize other sports that the other kid may be playing. I know for us, we've been grateful and very thankful too for our boys as well too. And that's one thing I think for parents, just being open in the beginning, say, hey, so and so also does this, so that the
yeah,
managers, the kids are also understanding that you're not, you let them know exactly how much a percentage you're going to be able to commit, and you stick to it, so
yeah,
you don't leave them. Because nobody ever want to leave their team not be able to play because they don't have enough starting lineups, right? So I think
yeah.
what you do is good, keeping that open communication. But with that, because you already talked about what you've been doing during this COVID to keep the team going, we already talked about the fact that you have five female girl teams. What are
Yeah.
the age categories that they fall into?
So U10,
Okay.
you have a couple of U11 teams, a U12 team, a
Wow.
U13 team, and a U14 team. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, and then sprinkled around there, we've got a couple of boys teams as well. I believe they're going to be U15 as well. So yeah, it's grown pretty quickly, and that's where our learning has come with Coach Sandeep, right? And if we hadn't leveraged, that ecosystem of coaches for help, we would just be going crazy, or
You could do
less
it
crazy. No, we'd be more crazy.
yourself. Okay, so one of the first questions that came through was post COVID, or even now, depending on how this lockdown, timeout, whatever you call it, goes through. Already been doing Zoom training. You've been doing the drive-through. Is there any other plans for the summer to still, keep the group together, so that they know, like, just to keep your momentum keep going? Like, if you have any particular summer camps, summer activities that anyone looking for it can look out for?
Yeah, so we're on that. So we anticipate that they're going to open things up. We just don't know to what extent. Yes, but initially it's probably going to be max 10 that can
Okay.
that can hang out together. And then so what we'll do is we'll probably have sessions outside,
Okay.
outdoor sessions like we had in the springtime and summer. And then hopefully, as things open up and we're able to practice, the moment that we're able to practice inside, Gifty, we will go in, because I think, yes, it's great to practice outside, but
Hmm.
really for more effective training and more effective learnings for them, it's just better to be indoors, right? Of
Or
course, following all the protocols that we're all familiar with, right? Making sure that we're being 100% safe. But yeah, we definitely, and we think that, we're talking with Sandeep the other day. We think that we will probably have a summer camp going.
okay.
We just gotta make sure that parameters are in place, and we've got the facility to do it,
Yeah.
and we're doing it safely, right? So we're working on that for sure. So stay tuned for that. Stay
Okay.
tuned.
And honestly, I think that's what a lot of everyone is doing right now. It's like there's something in place, but you can't be 100% definite about it until we know where we're going. Is it going to be too big,
Yeah,
or is
yeah.
it?
And the last thing we want to do is, yeah, the last thing we want to do is get everybody excited for something and then have to sort of pull back, right? We want to do it with purpose. We want to have it well planned out. That's one thing that Coach Sandeep and I, pride ourselves on, is being super organized with our schedules, with our communication as well, because we've been part of leagues where communication hasn't been the best. And when you're a parent,
You want
by the way, guess who makes all the basketball decisions in my house? It's
the
not
ball,
me, it's my wife,
the ball.
right? So your baller mom, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and you're multitasking. And if I come out to you and say practice is at 11, and then I change it and it's 12 o'clock, no, actually it's going to be 10. It's Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we that's the commitment we also made.
Those who have more than
What's
one
that?
athlete in the same sports or different sports, you're juggling. Like I was saying last week
Yeah.
when I was in feature, it was like I had a calendar of colors for each child, each day, for practice, for game, for tournaments, and
Yep.
location. And you're just trying to, it's like a game of chess. And you just, as moms or even parents, like, want to know, because are we both be here? Or is it one person that's going to be here? Is the whole family going, or is it just, are we splitting? Like, you need,
Yes.
and I think what you're saying in terms of providing that heads up visibility and locking it in and sticking by it is It's beautiful. And for all the managers that are consistently like up on their team snaps and their, the team sports apps and all those things and updating in and out, I say, kudos to you guys because
Yeah.
it's a lot. And that's why I like to be on the sideline because I don't know if I can hit all of that. But
Yeah.
we take it.
And I haven't found an app that I like yet. Like we use Team Snap. There was another Insta Team.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, some of them are not. So if someone's out there,
Okay.
please develop a great app for these things.
Well, in the app because that's the thing, right? Because it's like what's in that you like and what's in it that you don't like, and then you can combine it to create
Yeah,
one, right? And that way you can have that community information, date, time, multiple tasks, multiple tabs, similar to that Google. You can do color code. I live by color code, so
yeah.
anyway, it's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know one of our VCB players, one
Yeah,
of our girls is going to be an engineer, and she's going to develop this app. I know it for sure.
awesome, awesome.
That's my confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And she's gonna bring it back and say, what, Coach Fred, DCB, that set me the path to do it. So even though I love sports, look at that. I also have an outbound for it. And that's one thing about sports. It can take you so many different ways. It's not just
Yeah.
about in the athlete, but there's so many different avenues I can take you. And Mama 2 interview said, yes, color coded. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if I know her correct, she's got a couple of athletes at home,
Yeah.
that play softball as well. So yeah. She needs the color coding.
You need that color. It's that color coding. Oh my God.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
hell breaks loose.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I wanted to know what else in terms of from your organization. You mentioned a lot about the community work, but I also want to know, like, what does inclusion actually mean to VCB? Because with all the different community give back that you're doing, you're not just doing just for only just so because coming out and say we're female team and blah blah blah, but you're doing it in a way that provides accessibility to all. So from a team perspective, from even your personal perspective, what does the inclusion mean? Not just for females only, but for anybody looking to come and join your organization.
Yeah, and I think that's a great question, right? In terms of inclusion, we just feel like anybody could enjoy this game, this beautiful game of basketball. We are so convinced of that as organizers and as coaches. But in order to create that inclusive sort of ecosystem or society, we
Mm-hmm.
have to do it right. We have to do it in a nurturing way. We have to make sure that they're doing it in a fun way, and at the same time teaching them some messages, right? So it's not just one aspect. We want to sort of work on everything to make sure that they feel as comfortable as possible, and that when they leave the basketball court, that
Yep,
they want to come back. They want to
exactly.
come back, right? So,
Yep.
and that's been effective for us. And from the inclusion standpoint, that's why we have no problems with girls that play other sports, right? How many girls have not played a sport because they're already playing hockey or they're already doing this, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why we've made a point to be flexible. And the other thing too is my dream is that the female coaches and trainers outnumber the males. That's what we want, and that's our vision.
Yes.
I actually want that, and I want that in a picture, and I want that in a ratio where
Mm-hmm.
you've got 90% female coaches and trainers, and maybe 10% of male trainers. Um,
So that not because of its biases, but like what is the driving force behind that for you?
Because I think in basketball, there aren't enough female role models for our girls, to be perfectly honest. There's a few, and there's some awesome ones that we've met and that we've included in our programs, but there's got to be more. And I know there's more out there. They just haven't had the venue to be able to do that. And
Yes.
so that's why we want to provide that venue for them to be able to be mentors and be trainers. Now, we might not get them now, but certainly we can develop that
Yes.
so that a lot of our girls are going to be comfortable coaching a team, right? Coaching a men's team even, right?
Mm.
So yes, there are many girls that, would love to participate, which is great. Please contact us,
Yep.
uh,
I
female
see
trainers and coaches.
a couple your way as
Uh,
well, right? I had
Perfect. Yeah, you send them over.
yeah, I had a parent in I think
Again, like I said, increased female trainer and mentors. So that's where our goal is. That's what we're creating with these young girls, right? That's what we're creating. Yes, we want them to be WNBA stars. We do,
mm-hmm.
but we know that if we teach them right, they're going to be great mentors and great coaches.
My God, that's amazing. And I like that you let them be humble in the sense that they know their strength to grow into the next level of their phase, which is amazing. It's not always about just reaching one particular level of highest, but the path to
Yeah.
get and you doing that grassroots work is amazing. Um,
You know what, Gifty, the other thing that, sorry, it just came to mind, but I'm in the corporate world, during the day.
mhm.
And I'll never forget, we were talking about equality and females in the workforce. And I'll never forget a lady, a top executive
Mhm.
saying, I still feel a little intimidated when I walk into a boardroom. I
Yeah,
am one of the highest paid individuals in this corporation, and there's still a bit of something in my belly when I go into a boardroom. And she
yeah,
said, I'm here to make sure no other woman feels that way. And
yeah,
so I always have that in the back of my mind is how are we developing these kids emotionally so that they can go into a boardroom and just feel totally
yeah,
confident,
yeah,
right? With their head up and their chin up.
yeah.
And so that's sort of a driving piece that I have in the back of my head is, are we preparing them to walk into that boardroom and just own it, right?
Wow.
And so, yeah.
That's wow. Okay, so knowing that they're part of your team now, I'm going to take
Yeah.
it back or say someone who's never dribbled the ball before. But there's all these hypes going on with all the great Canadian athletes that did so good at the NCAA level just this past couple of months ago. The WNBA, like I said, is starting. There was talks about the WNBA TO. I mean, those are the highest one. But there's Europe, there's Canada, there's U Sports, the Canadian female team. Going to represent Canada, a FIBA, all of that. Um, for a parent whose child is like 7 or 8, and they have it, you see them, practicing in their room or on the hill, wherever it is, and they're saying, I want to join. But then they come in and they see different levels of it because they feel like, oh, these ones have been here for 2 years, they're really good, and I'm just new. Like, what are some of the tips or advice that you would tell either the athlete or even the parents, just so that they can say, they can say, they're home and you will get them through it, and it's only a matter of time for them to hone who they are, and you are with them for every step of the way. Like, what are some of the things the parents can say to the athletes, or that you can tell the parents for themselves to continue to support that athlete?
So it's twofold, right? It's coming into a nurturing environment. So that coach that is helping those kids that aren't doing so well or are new,
Yeah.
um, that has to be a fun environment, right? You got to create some goals for them to say, okay, well, today we're going to work on, holding your follow through after you shoot, right? Next practice is we're going to dribble once and then take a shot.
Okay.
So it's got to be increments, small increments, right? But at the end of the day, they got to make sure that they have that great feeling like, A, they've actually progressed,
Mm-hmm.
and B, that they've done it in a comfortable environment where they're going to make mistakes. My
Yeah.
message to parents are, you know, the best thing you can tell your kid is, I loved watching you play today.
Like that.
Um,
Like that.
let's not be critical. Yes, it's good to have a conversation, but I've heard from so many athletes that the worst part of playing was the car ride home. right? Because you parents are, and we all try to be experts, and we do it out of love, out of
Mhm.
nurturing, right? But what
Yeah.
happens is that conversation usually isn't the best conversation, right? Because it's a heated moment. So if you just leave it to, hey, listen, I love the way you played today. How do you think you did? And
Yeah.
you let them open up, then they'll tell you exactly how they did, right?
Yeah.
So comfortable environment with the coach, setting
Yeah.
small goals, right,
Yeah.
along the way, but making sure it's fun. One of the things we really focus on, Gifty, from a confidence standpoint, is we really, really, really work on shooting.
Okay.
The shooting fundamentals, if you were to ask us what we put as a priority, our
Mm-hmm.
priority is shooting.
Wow.
Because as you know, if you can't shoot in this world, in this game, you might
Sorry.
be just Dennis Rodmans of the world. They
Yeah.
really don't exist anymore. The game of shooting, the game has evolved so much that shooting is actually a priority now. And even the bigger guys and girls
Yes.
need to be able to shoot the three. So if you
Yeah.
start them with shooting fundamentals and make
Okay.
sure that at the age of 7 or 8, they're not into a gym and jacking up threes, make sure that they're close to the net and they're really holding their form. That just grows their
Mm-hmm.
confidence, Gifty, and that actually affects everything else in the game. Then they're more confident with their dribbling. They're more confident with their running. It just trickles down. So that's the philosophy we've used.
I like that. I like that. So get them comfortable with one technique and practice on it. And through that builds your confidence to be able to still move on to the next stage. Now, but you already maybe you alluded to it, and I just want to know a little bit more about it. You say you focus on shooting. So give me your top three that you focus on, with shooting being the first. What are the other two?
So what we've said to all the girls and all athletes that come into the gym, first thing you do is obviously you say hi to the coach, because
Yes.
you got to say hi to the coaches. You
A.
say
Yeah.
hi, you say hi to each other, right?
Okay.
And then you grab a net and you go right underneath the net and you work on it. We call them perfects. So
Perfect.
you're underneath, you've got perfect, your feet are perfect, your elbows in, and you're following through, and you're shooting a perfect shot right
Nice.
underneath the net. Okay, athletes do it, professionals do it, and then as you come back out, you can actually, as you get more comfortable, you can back up a little bit, and then maybe you can shoot it on a hop, or maybe you can shoot it after you dribble once, right?
Okay.
So shooting is very important for us. Again,
Mm-hmm.
passing is key.
Great.
Teaching them the right way to pass. We're not passing with one hand. We're using two hands to pass, and we're following through the bounce
Okay.
pass and the chest pass. And then we would work on things, the layup, right? How many times have you seen players miss a wide open layup? And usually, right?
Much. Yeah. Yeah.
and,
And
and
it's
it's usually if they get nervous, right? And they're freaking out. They see the rim and they miss the layup. So I would say shooting,
okay.
layups, and,
Yeah.
and then passing. I would say in terms of fundamentals for the beginning process.
Okay. Now, what if you have a student or an athlete who's not as vocal? And being in basketball, you got to say pass, you got to be able to say run, you got to be able to say to go. And I know you mentioned about the confidence building and the developing aspect of
Yep.
it. So, what are some of the ways that you also make sure that those who may not be vocal or comfortable in it, but their game is still shown and that confidence is still with them as a unit? What are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, so one of the things we do is we actually empower them we actually give them a drill that they need to teach the girls for the next practice.
Okay.
So what we say is, you need to come up with a drill. Abby, your drill next week. We need a shooting drill. And what we do is we let them research it, and
Wow.
then they come and they actually have to present the drill to to their players, to the team. So
Wow.
that builds a couple of things, right? They got to research it.
Mm-hmm.
They have to know how to deliver the information, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we help them out as well.
Yeah.
And my best conversations are right before they deliver it. I say, hey, listen, where do you want me? Where do you want me for this demonstration? Right? And they
Yeah.
say, oh, coach, I just need you to just be my ball boy right now. Right? And they deliver the drill, and it's great. And so we switch it up for everyone, right? And every week there's a new drill that is presented.
I'm learning so much, and I'm just like, wow, this is good, because as you've been saying earlier, you're actually starting off with that leadership and that accountability from onset, because you're giving them that responsibility to do that research, understand how they're going to deliver and put themselves in that teaching perspective, and giving, talking to their peers that they can understand. And they're also telling you where to go and sit and stand. So they're taking that, that role of talking to someone the same level and somebody who may be a lot older than me, but still not feeling any way that it doesn't matter
Yeah,
how short or tall I am. I'm in charge at this moment. This is my presentation. I like that. Wow.
that's
That
right. And it's a safe place, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now, what if?
It's a safe place. And the other thing we do, sorry, before I forget, and this is where Natasha comes in, is she always says, when you're raising your hand for a question, you have to have a confident hand. I want to see confident hands. I don't want one of these, oh, I have a question. I have a question. So
Mhm.
raise your hand confidently, right?
Yeah,
And again, that just goes to, and when we're doing layups and we miss a layup, we're there next time, right?
yeah.
And that doesn't work all the time, Gifty. Sometimes
Mhm.
we're on and we're really engaged, and some other practices sometimes we lack that, right? So it's just being able to identify, you know what, we got to pick each other up and we got to support each other through this.
Yeah.
And one of the teams that we inherited this year, a lovely, lovely team, U14, that Coach Tash actually mentored for many years. And I'm telling you, Gifty, if you hung out and watched these girls support each other and really encourage each other, you'd be like floored. And the fact that they have decided to hang out at VCB and play with us has been we were actually honored to have them. So it's
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
I've learned so much just based on how
You got to come to a practice. You got to come
I
to a
do.
practice.
I definitely, or maybe I can learn a couple of skills too, other than just the screaming and the yelling that I do.
That's all good. It's all good.
Um, Yeah, I think I've learned so much. I will definitely recap it and share it out. But I think what you're doing beyond just, getting the ball and bouncing and shooting is a great thing. Like, I'm so supportive and so like happy that you continue to do that. And for
Thank you.
anyone watch this later, honestly, VCB is one of the top one that I will recommend, especially if you have a female athlete that is in looking for a community. And even
And
if you're not you're a coach, you're still looking to give back, contact them. Like definitely I will tag everything and make sure that you continue to grow positively like you're always saying.
thank you
Um
very much. Thank you. And if there's another organization, if another organization has questions of our journey and
mhm,
tips, please, please, please contact us. We love to share information. Our information is not proprietary when it comes to giving back to these girls.
yeah,
We love to share this stuff. So please reach out to us for sure.
I love that. I love that. Now, in terms of winding down, which I
Yes.
always do, um is there anything right now that you need from the Baltimore community or the sports community right now, other than just, you mentioned reaching out, but is there anything that you haven't touched in like a minute or two that you can say so that I can give it out there and have individuals or teams even reach out to you?
Here's what I want. We want more girls to come onto the court holding a basketball just like this and not knowing what to do with that basketball, we need more of those girls.
Yes.
But
Yes.
would love more female trainers and female coaches as
Female,
well. Yeah.
female.
So yeah, that would be great if you could spread the word. And like I said, Gifty, I think what you're doing, this is an example of giving back to the community, selflessly, and you're keeping us all connected, because I'll tell you, this whole COVID stuff has really, really challenged all of these clubs, not just the boys, but also girls basketball and girls athletics.
Yes.
So the fact that you're doing this and helping us spread the word, we really, really appreciate it, and we're going to pay that forward for sure.
Like the mantra of, we support, we cheer, we unite, because we all grow together, and no one is an island by themselves.
We're all stronger together. We're all stronger together. Yeah.
Even Tom Hanks, when he was an island, he wanted human beings. So, like, why not, right?
That's right.
But to wind it down, just so that's a little bit more lightly and finish it off on there. You mentioned that you did play sports before. You've gone through your ups and downs and learning it. You pause and come back. But if you had, let me see, some of the questions I haven't asked anybody. Something that you recently have done for yourself, something nice that you have done for yourself. Because, like you said, we all work, we're all in this, mindset of online, digital, but stores are closed, things other than food. But is there anything that you yourself have done for you?
Geez, that's a good question. With 3 kids, you really don't do a lot for yourself.
Yeah.
I think, with this whole lockdown, what's that?
Or you would like to do once time out is over?
I think with this whole lockdown, I'm a pretty positive guy in general. But I've actually had to sort of force myself to be a little bit more positive, and actually think about it. And I think that's helped me. The other thing that's helped me too is because I'm not in the gym exercising with the teams, is going out for a walk. Like, yeah. And it was weird. I'm so competitive that I started walking real fast, but then I'm like, wait a minute, Fred, you're just going out for a walk. Right? So just understanding that it's okay to take a step back.
Yes.
And it's okay to just sort of relax and enjoy the environment.
It's okay.
And just walk, just enjoy, So that's what I've given myself back, is the ability to sort of stop and smell the flowers.
I like that. Like that. Well, thank you so much, Coach.
No problem. Thank you.
Enjoyed it. I learned a lot. There's a lot to give back and take back and also share. And as I always say, I'm confident that VCB is going to continue to grow and expand even beyond your measures. And definitely to the female ballers out there, the female moms, the female dads, bring your kids out there. There's a space for them. There's a space for it. And this is one of the you can bring them there to help them continue to grow confidence and develop the athletic skills as well, to make them, growth into exactly what all parents want, our kids to be good people, good human beings, society. You the last words, because I don't like to, it's not about me. It's about
Honestly, the last word, Gifty, is, again, I said it, thank you for doing this. And again, the fact that you're keeping us all connected is amazing. And this is beyond you, in terms of you're giving back, and that's amazing. That's amazing. Because hey, listen, it's not easy to prepare for these things.
No.
It's not easy to reach out and prepare for these, and we really appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone that joined and put in. We answered most of your questions, and I will post this and share, and you can always go back and rewatch it if there's anything that you may have missed. Some people log in and log off and stuff like that. So thank you so much, Fred. Go out and walk now. It's not a race.
I will. I'm going to go now. Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.